Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Sharifah Ereinna Binti Syed and I'm from JBA 25138. My topic for my report and infographic is Malaysia worsening COVID-19 situation expose serious economic political fault line. The country economic outlook is bleak at the moment with the possibility of extended lockdown due to the worsening COVID-19 situation. And analysts have expressed a concern that the social could have a serious economic and political implication for Malaysia, which is currently experiencing worse since independence in 1957. The first one, due to the stubbornness of politicians, the number of the cases had increased. Based on the data or chart from January 2020 to October 21, the cases is stabilizing because it's decreased every day due to fewer cases and lookup. When the third wave of COVID-19 arrived, it began with the Sabah state election. PRN and Prime Minister Tan Sri Muhyiddin addressed that the situation. The number of the cases increased substantially on September 27 and it even become even worse than previously, as indicated in the graph, which show that epidemic increased following the election. A complete economic shutdown will not only be ineffective, but it will also risk the country's key growth. On the front line of a pandemic war, a government and security official fear that a complete economic shutdown will not exist. Based on the statistical projection, the figure might break 5,000 infections every day and go much higher before we see any turns around. One senior government medical official who spoke on the condition of anatomy said Malaysia is prepared to shut down important economic sector if the MCO fail to control the COVID-19. According to the source, this bleak outlook will have a far-reaching economic consequence. Next, case increased day by day after October 1, 2020. COVID-19 infections are decreasing in Malaysia day by day. New infection and people who die because of a COVID-19 reported on average day each day. The highest daily average reported on January 25. There have been 188,849 infections and 689 reported in the country since the pandemic began. Lastly, the government is forced to reintroduce strict movement control restriction. In October, however, the tide began to change in the face of leader and citizen indifference. The country is currently dealing with an out-of-control illness outbreak. Prime Minister Muhyiddin acknowledged in a national television broadcast on January 12 that the uncontrolled spread of coronavirus had left the government with a little choice but to improve strict movement control lockdown after a week of downplaying mounting public speculation that the government better plan to beat the virus had badly stumbled. Countrywide state of emergency was imposed as a day later. Administration claimed was necessary to combat the virus. Most of the Prime Minister's political opponent as well as many ordinary Malaysians feel that action was driven by the leader